Take my hand, I'm giving it to you. It's all yours, whatever you want to. I don't mind what you're going through, because I know it'll lead me to you. Take my hand, I'm giving it to you. It's all yours, whatever you want to. I don't mind what you're going through, because it's yours and mine, it's true. Hey y'all, welcome to the podcast. I would start off with a song that I made up last night when I was in ceremony meditating. I actually had several that came through that was real interesting. Anyways, what we're going to talk about today is vibration and frequency. Sounds pretty typical to something that we would talk about. So here's the deal. So if you have been, you're like, oh, I'm there. I feel like I'm so close to being there. Why am I not there yet? I'm going to tell you, it's because you haven't emptied out enough stuff yet. And I know, it's like, how could we possibly keep emptying out more stuff? How is it even possible? I've got rid of it all. But truthfully, that you haven't. Truthfully that you haven't. Because if you could go an entire day and have your mind just be completely at peace and completely at ease, then you know that you're there. And I'm not just talking about, it was a real good day today. I'm talking about if you could go through an entire day and not hold one judgment, one critical thought, one complaint, one criticism, one resentful thought, one angry thought, one annoyed thought, all these things. If you could go a whole day without that, yeah, man, you're there. But if you were to truly examine your mind, I'll bet you're not there yet. And that is fine, because you got your whole life to do it. You got your whole life to do it. And for me, it took me separating myself from my environment where I was previous to that to be able to achieve what I did through the enlightenment, and to gain all that knowledge and to gain all that wisdom. I actually removed myself from my home, my house, my environment, and I went off by myself into the wilderness, essentially. I mean, this is a remote cabin, and considering the time of year, my neighbors were gone. There's basically nobody up there. There's 15 people that live there year round, but you're not going to see them. And it was through that, and through not having Wi-Fi. I got to tell you, I was so annoyed last time that I was going up to my cabin, this last summer. I had gone up to Canada, right? So keep in mind, I've been gone out of the country for a long time at this point, and I go back to, see my kids and go have a spiritual retreat and go visit some people. And so I'm leaving and I'm going up to my cabin, and my ex decided, I'm pretty sure I know exactly why he did it, that he was going to cut me off of our family sharing plan on our cell phones. Why is this a big deal? Well, because I only had an American bank card, and so it would not go on to my Canadian phone. So when he cut me off, I then didn't have any of my music, and I'm planning on going up to my cabin for like weeks and weeks, and I've got my playlist, I've got my downloaded music. This is typically part of my process when I'm doing ceremony. I've got music going on, and so I was so beside myself, annoyed, especially because he had told me, of course, no, I'm not going to cut you off there. No, it's all good. I won't ever do that. And then he did. And so at the time I was pissed, right? Because I had all these plans and for weeks, and there's no Wi-Fi up there, man. So it's like what you got downloaded on your phone is all you got. That's all you get. And since he did that, I didn't have anything, and when I showed up there was a few songs that were left on my phone, but they were ones, I swear I did not download them. They were all extremely low vibe, like stuff I would never even listen to. Like it was offensive even having them on my phone to listen to, because the vibes that was in this music, so I couldn't listen to it. And it reminds me, I think of the meditation that I had the other night, because I always had music, and I realized, well, no, I don't need it. I don't need it. So it helped me to learn that. When I was up there, and then, a couple weeks ago, or however long ago that was now, when my music shut off when I was in the middle of a meditation, and I was, annoyed for a second, like, why is my music shutting off? And then I realized, and especially last night, I'm sitting there singing, this is my process. So I will, ceremony, I'm going to say, this is my intent, this is what I'm doing, this is what's happening, and then I'll sit there and I'll wait. Sometimes I'll sing, sometimes music will come out. And it's important that I record it, which I never do, but I did yesterday for the first time, maybe even ever. Because I'll forget it, right? This is music that's coming from, it's coming through me, not to me. It's not mine to keep, it's not anything, it's just flowing through me. And it is a way to connect me to the divine. And so sometimes it will be sound, like that vibration. It might just be a tone. I might just be singing a note. But then also through movement. And this makes a lot of sense. When you think about movement, so I don't know if you guys have ever heard of EFT tapping. It's something that I will do with my clients. I'll do in sessions with people if they need a shift real quick, or if they're upset about something and it's like, okay, let's just resolve this before we even start the session, then we'll use EFT. And what it is doing is you are tapping on certain places in your body and you're saying certain things. So I will have the person spit out their negative, whatever it happens to be, whatever their negative thought pattern is. So like, this person really upset me and I'm really pissed off and I just can't help it, but I feel this way, and blah, blah, blah. And we'll have them tap through this. And by the end of the tapping session, which will just be a couple minutes, they no longer feel that way. There's been a whew. You can actually feel the energy shift. I know when we can stop, because I will feel the whole room shift. If we're in a room together, everybody will feel it. And if I'm on the internet, if I'm doing this online, I'll still feel the shift. I'll feel it physically inside myself. Now I say all that to say this, that this whole EFT thing, emotional freedom technique, it's called tapping. They did this study with these dudes, and they all had the same type of prostate cancer, and they found that each of them also had the same emotional block. So think about an emotional block like a actual physical block in your energy system. So someone says, I got a block. No, they really do. They actually have a block in their energy system, so their energy's not flowing how it should be flowing. So this EFT can help real quick to relieve things like this. I worked for a company several years ago, and the owner knew me because he'd come for sessions, and he's like, man, I want you to help all my people. But of course, how am I going to get 80 plus people in to do hypnosis sessions? I mean, that would have been sweet if we could. But I was like, all right, well, you know what, I can offer you, these 10 to 20 minute tapping sessions. And so I did that, and man, there was a lot of transformation that can happen in literally 10 minutes. 10 minutes. It's just unbelievable. What's actually happening in there is that we are removing these energy blocks, and when we remove those energy blocks, then your energy can now flow freely how it's supposed to. And when your energy is flowing freely how it's supposed to, you are closer connected to the divine, because you have stopped putting resistance up. The only reason why you would have a block in your energy system is because you have resisted something. Maybe it's yourself. But you have resisted something that's divine. You've resisted a divine truth. And this literally is anything. It is anything that is presented to you into your life that you're like, ooh, I don't want that. I don't need that. I hope they don't show up. I don't like this. Ugh. It's all of that. That's resistance. You're stopping what is coming toward you and saying, I don't like that. Trees don't do this, right? They do not complain about their lot in life, and therefore they do not undo the perfect work of the divine. But we do. Why do we do that? Because we're humans, man. And so it's really getting over our humanness, our ego, who we believe that we are. That is what sets us free. So let's say that you're trapped in your ego, and so okay, let's use this as an example of a relationship. So you're trapped in your ego, and you believe yourself to be a certain way. So you believe yourself to be real good and deserving and worthy of love, but somebody is showing you by their behavior that you are interpreting this as, oh, you're not actually worthy of that love. And so what happens when this happens is you say, oh, I don't like that, right? We're putting a resistance up. We're saying, I don't like this thing that I'm seeing. Meanwhile, we are actually in that moment giving our faith to the opposite of the divine plan. You know what I mean? So let's say we want something and we're not getting it, and then we're saying, why? Ooh, I don't want this to be this way. What we are doing is resisting the life that is being presented to us in front of us, right in our lap. Here's what you're being presented with, and you're saying, oh, I don't like this. I don't want it to be this way. Okay, I'm sure you've done that. I've done that. But what happens when this is happening is we are saying what the divine is sending me is not good. I am resisting what is being sent to me. And through that, we create energetic blocks within ourselves. Something as simple as that. I'm telling you, everything is the spirit. Every single thing. Your computer that you have, your phone that you have, the conversations that you have, the books that you read, the clothes that you have on your body, the sounds, the tones, the music, the vibration. There's nothing that is not the spirit. There's nothing. So when you are presented with a situation, which is the spirit, and you say, oh, I don't want this to be this way, you are saying, divine, I don't trust you. I'm going to do this my own way. Then you will step into your ego and you're going to be like, I'm going to control this situation. I'm going to control the outcome. This is what I want. I'm going to try to manipulate it in a way so that I can get the outcome that I want. And you will use that manipulation because of your ego. Whereas if you trusted the divine and you said, okay, well, divine, I think this, but this is what I'm being presented with. I guess I need to let go and move on and go find where that is that I want. Then you have not resisted anything. You have accepted, and you will continue to go with the flow of the life. Because the things that are presenting themselves to you are showing you. They're telling you, they're showing you the way. This is why I was just thinking this morning, I'm like, you know what? There is barely anybody that listens to my YouTube channel. There's barely anybody. Yeah, I got a couple thousand followers, but because I got this, content coming out all the time, there's just not many people that are actually tuning into it. So I'm like, okay, so am I resisting something here? My life is showing me that this is maybe not the thing. Although I love it. I love doing it. I love talking to you guys. But I think I am actually going to quit doing this. I've just decided this right here and now. And I'm going to switch over to something else. I mean, I'm on Transformation Talk Radio. And I'm working with the Cosmic Christ Force, me and another woman. And we are doing some powerful things. Expect miracles. And so I think I'm going to move over to that platform and put my messages out there because they seem to be well received and actually wanted. So I'm going with what my environment is telling me to do. And I hadn't been, right? I've been ignoring it. I was like, no, I'm just going to, keep pushing through and keep doing this because it's something I want to do. And of course, I'm going to do what I want to do. You know me. But I also have to be aware and to know that what the divine wants for me flows like water easily. And I have to tell you, I've met people in my life. Every person I've met in my life, I was obviously supposed to, meet. But it's been very synchronistic how some of the people that I've met, it's so random. And it can't be random like this. except that I know that everything is the spirit, so I know that it's not random, it's divinely timed. And I had been searching for, man, that is delicious tea. I had been searching for something in my life where I could do this all the time. What I'm doing with you guys, this is all I want to do. This is it. This is all I want to do. I want to talk about this. I want to help people, free them. I love working with people, and they're coming and they got some friggin' ailment. They can't even walk, or they're just debilitated and they feel like their life is over, and then they're done, working with me, even one session, and they're like, wow, my life has completely transformed and changed. And there's nothing that brings me more happiness and joy than that. Not because they've transformed, not because they've changed, but because the reason behind it is because they understood some type of divine truth that they weren't getting before. They were viewing something in a perspective that was harming them. And it was affecting their worthiness, their life force energy, everything about it, and it was causing them suffering in some way. And the divine does not want us suffering in any of the ways unless it is beneficial, and it is beneficial, right? If somebody's suffering because they're thinking they got some perspective that's all just awful, and they're thinking about it and they're in a thought loop and it's harming them, and they're doing it every day. And the divine doesn't want this. And now if they can come and I can see this suffering that is self-imposed, and when we shift that, it's not just them that it affects. There's environmental factors that play into it. It will change their environment. It will change their health. It'll change their belief system. And this is all because they've had all these energetic blocks in their body that is blocking them from the divine life force flowing to them constantly, all the time, always, always, always. And this is so detrimental because it will create unhappiness and misery. It will be a horrid life experience because you've shut the divine love off, your life force energy. What a detrimental thing that is. Why would we want to do that? We wouldn't. We do it unknowingly. And this is why when I'm here, I'm just outside St. Louis, and every time I go in and I go to the store, it's like unavoidable that every single person that I see is grievously suffering. And they are suffering because they are surrounding themselves by untruths. They are clouding their soul over with mental patterning that is harming and hurting them and that is painful. And they are contaminating their physical vessel with low vibrational foods that are harming them, and they're eating them in massive quantities. When they're drinking their water, they're not thinking good thoughts. They're still in their thought loop, and so they're drinking more and more and more and more and more of those thought loops in. And it's circulating, and it goes into their energy system and their physical body. And those physical cells, they vibrate at a certain frequency. They have a resonation in them. And when those physical cells are resonating, it's such a low functioning energy level. It causes suffering, and you can see it in people's energy. I can see it with my freaking eyeballs. All the suffering in all the people. And I just want to help the people to be set free. And I understand what he was saying when he said to set my people free. It's because they are in their own mental prison and they don't know that this is happening. And their life force energy is so low that they don't even got the time or the capacity or the energy to even want to do anything about it or start, and they wouldn't even know how because they haven't heard the truth. And they want to be stuck in their victim mentality because if they're not, well, that means you got to take responsibility for your whole entire life. And what a what a pain in the butt that will be, and what a whole pile of work that seems like it is. But I'm telling you, your life is determined by your mental patterns and your thoughts, by your mind. And it is lack of mind control that causes all kinds of suffering in your life. Whether this is lack of control because you give in to cravings of some sort, whether it be drugs, alcohol, food, sex, something else. It is lack of mind control that causes suffering in all of the people. And because they use this lack of mind control willy-nilly, they use it all day, every day, and they have mental pattern loops that reinforce this lack of control. And because they have that, and they don't know how to fix it, they continue to suffer. And it's like nothing is changing because they don't know how. And I want to teach the how. And you know, because it doesn't take very long, does it? If you practice these things that we talk about, it does not take long. I mean, in the scheme of things, you might be like, well, dang it, I've been doing this for 6 months, and I feel way better, but I haven't visibly noticed my environment change. Keep doing it. How old are you? How many years were you not thinking along that lines? How much karma from those previous vibrations and frequencies that you held have you built up that you're still playing out? You're still playing out, and you're not free of those thought loops yet, are you? Not completely. Every day you're getting better and better and better. But I'm telling you, your environment, it will visibly change as well. You'll be moving on to higher and better and bigger things. But you have to stay consistent. This is the test. And it is. It really is a test. It's a test of faith. And I think, in my life, I've always been spiritual. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you have. I don't know. But when I would have been around 4 years old, I remember that, I just remember 4 years old being significant, that there were several things that happened around then spiritually. Dang, that tea is good. It is vanilla, black tea, with some eucalyptus honey. Delicious. But there's about 4 events from there. So I remember being little and thinking, we just have to do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and actually being frustrated with life at 4 years old, just thinking, we have to get it perfect, or we just have to come back and do it again. We have to get it perfect, or we have to come back and do it again. And there was nobody telling me this. Man, if you knew my parents, that was not the case. Nobody telling me I needed to be perfect. This was coming from myself. I also remember around 4 years old, remembering past lives. I remember living in this palace. I know what it is now. This would have been King Henry VIII's palace. I remember being in there. I remember what type of person I was. I remember so many things about that life, those lives, that particular life. And I also remember telling a good friend of mine that people without Jesus really suffer. And truly believing that and knowing that, and I understand it now because I'm not a Bible follower. I mean, I believe some of the stuff that's in there, but I also know that there was a lot of misinterpretations. And let's say that I'm your best friend and I'm going to write your memoirs. Well, you know what? I'm not going to get it completely right, am I? Because I'm not in your mind. And there will be things that you didn't tell me, and there will be things that you did tell me that I interpreted a certain way because of where I was at. And that is what happened there, which is why when I heard the Christ letters for the first time, I was like, dang, this is beautiful. This resonates with me on a level that that I know is true, that I can't even explain. And it broke down a lot of barriers that are there, that are in the Bible, because it's like, why aren't freaking Christians happy? I'm telling you, they're some of the most miserable people I've ever met in my life. Going to church for almost my whole life, and being a waitress after church, this is like 20 years ago, was probably one of the worst. You would get terrible tips. The people would be so rude to you, and there were some that were not. I'm not saying every Christian, because everybody's completely different. I'm not casting a net and saying every single one is like this, but I am saying for a fact what they're speaking and preaching in the truth is not filled with the Spirit in most cases. Some of it is, yes, there are some pastors who are enlightened, and they are preaching and they are teaching the truth to you. Some of these preachers, they know what they're talking about, and you can feel it, and you'll know it, and you'll be like, ooh, I feel all filled up. Ugh, yeah, look at these miracles that are happening regularly in our church. Why don't we have any sick people in our church? Why? Because he's healed them all through proper teaching and through these people reaffirming and knowing their faith. This is how you know. If you attend a church where there's a bunch of sick people in there all the time, there is something not going right. Not going right. And I say all that to say this. If you have an energetic block, you will not be in the divine flow. You won't be in the divine flow. And so you will feel like something is missing, and you'll be like, I wish I could just be in the flow. And this is what is missing. So when I have my ceremony, if I'm not singing, then I will be using movement. And so this will look like this. Like imagine here I'm sitting cross-legged, and I got my hands in a mudra, my thumb and my pointer finger sitting there in a mudra, and my other fingers sitting there open, and I just kind of have open palms, and I'm sitting there, and my eyes are closed, and I'm just breathing. Well, I will sit there and I will say, now divine, I'm just going to sit here until you move into my body, and I know the divine, so I know that I'm safe and that it is the divine. And then pretty soon, it might be several minutes. I don't know how long it'll take. But then my body will just start to move, and it will move in an odd and peculiar way. It will move in some just not normal, regular body movement type way. It will be unique, and I will not be able to stop it. And if I did stop it, it would immediately stop the flow that I'm feeling within me. This is the same as if I'm singing a song, and all of a sudden I start to think the words that I want to be speaking. If I do, it'll ruin the whole thing. If I just let the words come out of my mouth that want to come out of my mouth, and I don't know what the next word's going to be, but if I just trust and speak it, then it will have this beautiful flow to it. So I do the same thing with movement. I will sit there and I will wait for my body to move itself. And as it does, maybe this will go on for several minutes, maybe it'll go on for many minutes. I mean, I'm typically in it for 90 minutes to 2 hours. That would be a typical session, and it'll feel like about 5 minutes to me, but it will not be. And so I will sit there and I will wait. But what is happening during that process of the toning, singing, vibration that's going out, or the movement in my body, is this is creating actual vibrations. And these vibrations, these frequencies, and along with breath, I should actually play you one that I recorded so that you can really see what the vibration is like, because this thing I recorded yesterday actually has I think you'd find it interesting, so I'll probably upload that for you. But what is happening in these vibrations is there's information that is coming and also being sent during this time, and what it is allowing me to do is to get into divine alignment. And so what I mean by that is to see things completely clearly through the proper perspective of divine love. Because the reason why we suffer is because we are not seeing things through the eyes of divine love. That's why, every time. It's like the lice story, right? We've talked about this before, I'll say it again, that there was these women, and they're in a concentration, this is a true story, they're in a concentration camp, and every night there's like a whole bunch of them there. They're crowded in. I mean, I'm sure you've heard the story. They're sleeping on beds of hay, all squished in there all together, and they had a Bible and a bottle of vitamins. And so all these ladies in there every night, they're holding a Bible study, and while they're doing that, they're passing around this bottle of vitamins. And so each of them, takes a vitamin out, and they're just mesmerized by the fact that every night that they do this, there's more vitamins in there, but yet they should have been long gone, but they weren't. And so one night, one of the ladies is, praying after they're done the Bible study, and she said, thank you for the Bible, and thank you for the vitamins, and for all the women, or whatever she says, and then thank you for the lice. And so some of the women lose their mind because their cabin was infested with lice. And so some of these women are outraged and they're like, are you kidding me? You know, like, it's so itchy, we can't even sleep. This is torturesome. Why would you be thankful for that? And, you know, they're all mad at this lady. And this lady's like, well, you know what? The Bible says to be thankful for everything, so I'm going to be thankful for everything. And that's that. And so the war ends. And these ladies talked to one of the guards that was outside their cabin. And they're like, you know what? Like, we had a Bible and we had vitamins in our cabin. And you guys never came and raided our cabin. Like, why did you not come and take these things from us? And the guards said, you know, like, well, we weren't going in your cabin. It was infested with lice. So sometimes the thing that we think is this horrid, terrible, horrible thing is the very thing that saves us. And this is why we need to be thankful for everything always, because when we are not, then we are not in divine alignment. So had someone in that cabin been in perfect divine alignment, which it sounds like that lady who was being thankful for the lice was, and she was thankful for them. So what happened by her being thankful? Well, first of all, she wasn't suffering like the others were suffering because she was viewing it differently. She was being thankful for it, which I don't know about you, but if ever you're not thankful for something and then you switch and then you're thankful for it, it completely changes your vibration, your frequency, how you feel. It changes your mood. So this woman was giving herself, first of all, not needless suffering like the others who were sitting there and who were cursing these lice that were the very thing that may have saved their life because of those vitamins. So when we get in the proper perspective, the divine perspective, that perfect alignment, then we will be safe. We will be cared for. We will have no needless suffering. Because yes, that woman, I'm sure, had lice just like the rest of them, but she didn't give in to it. And I see people who give in to it, and I don't give in to anything. And maybe this is the difference. I have a lot of people who over my life have looked and thought, oh, she's got it easy. Meanwhile, they don't know a thing about me. They don't know what I've been through. And if they did, they would be singing a completely different tune. They don't know. But because of how I present myself, because of my belief, because I love the divine so freaking much, more than anything, it's the only thing that matters. But because I love the divine more than anything, I don't let any suffering, I don't let myself suffer. Not since I gained the enlightenment and had the truth flow through my body at a level that is just, you can't even describe it. But it's such a deep level that I can't unknow what I know. And this is how I can help people now. And it has been because of the suffering that I went through that it was like, no man, I need to heal this because I can't go on this way anymore. I don't even want to go on anymore. So that suffering was a beautiful blessing. It was a gift to me. But at the time, it did not feel like a gift. This is from my ex-husband. You find out that he's been betraying you for years and years and lying, and all the things that you thought were real were not. And it destroyed me, and it was devastating. And from that came the most wonderful, beautiful gift I've ever had in my life. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for it. Thank you for it. And then all the things that have subsequently happened after that, when I still was not completely in a healed element. I was so used to taking less than treatment from him, obviously, that I continued to allow that to play out. And until I didn't, until I recognized it and saw what was happening. And so all of these things that most people, and I know it's most people because I have people that come to me and they're in suffering, and it is all because of their perspective 100% of the time, always. Yes, tragic things happen that break us down. But it is all for the benefit of the individual if you will but change your perspective to a divinely protected one. To a, hey, this is This is pushing you to that thing. You weren't supported where you were at, and now you are. You're welcome. My ex used to tell me to be less spiritual, be less weird, be more mainstream. And I'm like, dude, you don't even know me, man. You clearly don't even know me, but he did. He knew me well, and he knew that he was trying to break who I was down. For whatever reason, he feared it. He told me he did. He feared that it would be for spiritual reasons that I would leave him at some point, and he always believed that. Well, that's not the reason why I left him, but that was the reason maybe why he did all the things that he did, and it really did help me to step into my spiritual power and gave me all type of tools that I used to hone in previous incarnations. It allowed them to all flood back to me. And it was truly a blessing, the most horrible thing I've been through. And I've been through a lot of things, man. And most people, if you looked at the truth of that story, if you actually seen it, you'd think, man, I don't even know how you got through it. But that ain't the half of what I've been through. That ain't even the half of it. But because I always love the divine, and I'm telling you, there is not a day that goes by that I don't have this intense need, this craving to connect with the divine, and I do it all day long, every day, all the time. And my friends, you would know this if you were a friend listening to this. I've always been spiritual. They've known me as that. Yeah, you've always been the spiritual one. Yeah, you've always been the spiritual one. From the time I was a little young person. And so my friends, now, these beautiful, blessed angel women, they're all spiritual too. It's what they're passionate about. And so I'm in alignment with people who are now supportive of me. Whereas before, when I was with my ex, well, if I had a good friend, he'd be so jealous, he would try to do things to make me not like that person. I mean, it didn't work. But he'd always be throwing shade on every single person that was my friend and trying to end friendship, which, I mean, I guess he did end some friendships. Intentionally, on purpose, going out of his way to end them. Make me choose him over them, which, I mean, you're married. I felt like obligated to it. But I see now it was all a blessing. It was all a wonderful blessing. Because it allowed me to be me and to never put up with treatment like that ever again. Man, I stepped into my power. Thanks, man. I didn't have all my power before, but I do now because of what happened. So it's been a blessing. There's nothing that has been detrimental in my life, even still right now. All the things that are flowing to me, all the things are only good. Everything is all good all the time because the divine is good all the time. And if you have something flow into your life and you're like, oh, well, this isn't good, it is your perspective and it is good. Maybe it's showing you, hey, remember how you were thinking like this before and now look what's shown up. So it is a good thing. It's a blessing. It's showing you your thoughts. It's showing you electromagnetism at work. It's showing you how karma plays out. Everything is good and it is all divine perspective. And if you put your faith in the divine love rather than in the, oh, that's a bad thing. Oh, but this is a bad thing. Oh, but yeah, there's exceptions. There's bad things. There's not. There's not. Because they all work for the good of the divine. And when everybody shifts, when this consciousness evolution, this Christ force energy that is flowing through our planet, when everybody uplifts with this, then there won't be that suffering anymore because it will no longer be, we will have the ability to grow without it. Whereas previous to that, we're not thoughtful about our lives, right? We just go through our life not even thinking. I mean, we're thinking things, but not even thinking. We're not being thoughtful about our life until something happens and forces us into it. But with this cosmic Christ force that's flowing through the freaking planet, we're not going to need it for growth. because we're going to use truth and divine alignment for growth rather than the suffering and the pain that we then have to overcome that'll then push us to the thing, and we won't need that middleman that we needed before, the suffering and the pain. It will no longer be necessary or needed because we will have shifted our thinking from suffering into divine alignment, and we will know that every single thing is happening for you, my darling. It's happening for you, my darling. Yes, even that thing. It's a means to an end of that old patterning, of that old way of being. It's a means to an end. It's happening for you, so be thankful for it. It's a wonderful gift that you've been given. If you would but believe in it, you would stop the suffering immediately. But this is what I have for you guys here today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You all are so wonderful. Thanks for all your love and support. And I guess I'm not sure where we're going from here on out. But I got plenty of previous episodes if I don't keep pushing more of these out. See, I even said pushing. Need to be flowing. So we'll see where we're going with this. Anyways, I love you guys. Thanks for all your love and support. You guys are absolutely amazing and wonderful. Thank you. And keep spreading your blessings all over the world, because I know that you are. I know that you do it every day because you help people and you love people, and I know that you do it every day. So thank you for that. Thank you for being loyal to me as well. And I will talk to you guys later.